Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Dive Bomb Industries, home of the best silhouettes in the market. I'm Jeff Stanfield, and other decoys, too, with the world-famous Andy Shaver. And if you look at my shirt, I'm wearing one of yours. Let me get you to autograph this, okay?
What a loser.
Yeah, I'm telling you. With us today from Greenbrier, Arkansas, at the Stewart Ranch in southern Oklahoma, Mr. Bart Likes with Old Bart Barbecue. Hello, how are you doing, Bart?
I'm doing great. Better than I deserve.
Better than you deserve. That's a mouthful to say that. You know that?
It is. It's a lot of Dave Ramsey listened to it on the road, and that's pretty much how he introduced it. So I'm like, I'm stealing it. I don't care.
So better than you deserve. I think most of us could probably say that. Or are we all selling ourselves short and we deserve more than we have?
It's a thought, right? It's an icebreaker, and it's like usually catches people off guard. So it's like, wow, yeah, you're right. And then a little self-reflection, like, maybe I'm doing better than I actually deserve. Maybe I'm a piece of crap. Or maybe I'm like, man, I deserve better.
See, I want more. My life is
who don't?
My life is very, very good, and I'm very, very blessed because I don't have to look very far to see people that's got a whole lot worse. But I want more than what I have now.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I gotta know this. How much bad barbecue did you make before you started making good barbecue where you were like, okay, I think I can sell this to other people?
Well, quite a bit. I mean, that is a barbecue saying, good barbecue comes with experience, and experience comes with bad barbecue. So I've got a really good neighborhood, and I had to do a lot of test runs and just back-to-back cooking. And then finally, when it comes to consumers, it's, you have to stick with it. So once I locked it in, because you can play with any kind of flavors, any kind of whatever, just constantly add. And I knew that I really enjoyed Texas style barbecue. So I focus on high quality meats. So we use, in the restaurant in Conway, we use prime grade brisket. We use Berkshire pork or Duroc pork, which is really high quality pork. And then we use my barbecue rub. And then whenever we went to make that rub and produce it, I wanted to keep it simple and high quality pepper, high quality salt, and then a little paprika for color. And then we just let the smoke do the work. So we stick with high quality ingredients. Now, when we do private stuff, and maybe we want a little Hawaiian theme, maybe we want this, then you can start injecting. But you have to learn all that. It's like, oh, this marries up, this does good. And then you just kind of got to own it. You just got to own it.
Yeah. And I feel bad for aspiring barbecue people because brisket, it used to be a cheap cut of meat. It is not anymore. Fucking brisket.
No, she's high dollar. I mean, she's at least $100 a cut. Yeah. At least.
And, you start fucking up too many of those and you're like, shit.
Yeah, this hurts the old pot. So you really have pressure to figure it out, or just have, hey, figure it out, or it's like, oh, we're not going to do brisket. So, but the good thing is, once you get it down, again, I have notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks of just like, hey, this was my first go, and then now we've got it. So, like, I have a restaurant running right now, and I've got a pit person. I trained her how to do it, and it's locked in. There is no question. This is how it does it. So you have a little bit of finesse that you get with the experience, like different muscles, different cows. They all cook differently, but you can kind of put them in a range. Like, this is going to be the lock. This is going to hit every time. It's just kind of a little bit of variance every now and then.
And that's what's so difficult is if you're going to change something, you can really only change one thing at a time. Or because if you change 2 or 3 things and it's great, you're like, well, what the fuck made it so good? So like,
I have no
if
clue.
you make a bad brisket and then you can only make one change, and you can only make one change at a time. So you might be 3 or 4 briskets away from before you finally get it locked into what you want.
Oh, absolutely. And that's going with like, again, back to the Texas style, but I was born in Memphis, so I like Memphis colors and a little bit of what they do as far as charring. And so I like that part. So I knew that's not really flavor profile too much. The Texas flavor is what I liked. So, I mean, we ship in pallets of post oak wood from Texas. I like that flavor. It goes really well with our consumer base there in Conway. It's not over smoked. It's not hard smoke on it. A lot of people get acid reflux from a lot of smoke. Yeah. And so, I know my consumers, the majority of them, and I knew like, and then you just have to own it. Cause I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You got to close your shop. Right. I mean, really and truly, in the grand scheme of things, it's like, this didn't sell, this didn't work. Let's reset. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You can't be afraid. Yeah. Scared money don't make money, baby.
Do you do any competition cooking?
Absolutely not.
No.
No, I've never done it. And anytime I've been invited to do something like that, I've been like, oh yeah, let's get in that realm of because it's a whole nother class of barbecue. Because no matter what anyone says, the Myron Mixon, all of those people that I've had a chance to meet or talk to, reigning champions, they know the realistic thing, which is you can't mass produce championship barbecue. You can get close, but the care that it takes to turn in 6, perfect ribs or sausage or all that, and then to mass produce it, you're setting yourself up for failure. So with me, I never really did it. Not that I'm afraid of competition, because I do like it. It does get my blood pumping, but I've always been booked out. It's either during hunting season or I have a catering, and a bird in the hand's worth more than 2 in the bush. I can guarantee myself some money this way, or I can go try and hang out and maybe make some money. And hanging out doesn't really pay the bills, and my wife would be really upset with me.
I watched the one on
Netflix, Great American Barbecue.
No, I've liked that one too. But Kingsford Barbecue Charcoal has a competition he does, and they got a guy from Texas, Johnny Triggers. They got a big black guy named Myron Mixon, I think's his name, maybe. Big old guy.
Big Mo Cason.
Mo, yeah. And then there's is Myron the white guy from Georgia?
Yes.
He seems like kind of an asshole.
The world's most. Well, he's just intense, and he knows what he's doing. So he's the most winningest barbecue man there is.
That's him. He is.
That's period.
And he's real cocky, but it's a piss poor dog that don't wag his own tail, and he's won a lot.
I mean, 100%. And his smokers are next level. They're water smokers. He's changed the game. He's got some really great products out there, and then he's starting some businesses of his own. But I mean, dude, if I don't. It's not really my personality, but I mean, I don't know that I wouldn't be like, right. What's up? I got these rings, old son. I got these rings. But then I'd be a friendly guy because it's not really my personality. But dude's running it. So like it or hate it, he's winning. But Mo Cason, he does a different style of barbecue and big O cigars and showy but he's winning like too. Him. And then Johnny Triggers is like the godfather of ribs. So
Johnny he's pretty low key. That the Mo is the black guy, right? I really like him. He's got a great personality. The Myron guy does not look like he'd be enjoyable to be around, but they're all good. But I like that show. It's called Kingsford's. But
what is it on?
I don't know. 181, 182,
so 183. It's on a Food Network.
No, it's not. It's like on TNT or something. Oh. Or Discovery or one of them channels.
It was popular. I don't know if it's still rolling, but it's definitely popular. I mean, and that's the cool part about it. The barbecue world is and honestly, COVID helped the barbecue world.
I bet.
Maybe not really not like competitions because the whatever, but I mean, working with Traeger and then doing shows for them and then trying to sell, like you couldn't get, you couldn't get enough Traegers. They were shipping them in by the boatloads and people were staying at home cooking.
Yeah.
And then, but now you have this home base of now smokers and entry level. And so now you're getting this wave of like hey, okay, I figured out a pork butt. And so you get a bunch of like just requests and how to, but I mean, smokers, charcoal, I mean, anything from a Walmart shelf for a brand new smoker or whatever that looks like, or a grill, people were grilling at home. So it's good for business. It just took a minute to rubber band there, and now it's catching back up. Just like anything else product.
I was in Home Depot last week, and I walked through the grill area, and I hardly ever use mine. The boys, when they come to the house, they cook on my grill.
I have to use Jeff's grill.
I don't know how to use it. I've got a Traeger here at the lodge I've never even used. But
couldn't tell you how to turn it on. If you had $1 million right here on the table, said, Jeff, go crank it up to 225.
A guy showed me the other day here.
That's what you get.
And I was too polite not to tell him I really didn't care because I didn't plan on using it.
Jeff's attitude is I have people for this.
Yeah, but I walked at Home Depot. I walked through it was an Academy, and all their different. They got all kinds of stuff. They got all kinds of different pellets, different flavored pellets, this and that. And I thought, son of a bitch, somebody has capitalized because 20 years ago, if you'd have told them, well, no, but it's not just them. They're not the only one. They're the big boys though. But 20 years ago, if you'd have said, listen, I'm going to have a grill that you're going to plug in with an electric cord that you can run off of your cell phone, people are like, well, that's complete bullshit. Everybody has them now. You know, I guess can you start your smoker from here?
I can't start it, but once it's on, you can
do stuff with it.
Do everything.
But it's amazing. Now, a guy like you that's a professional cook, okay, then you got someone that's a professional horse's ass like Andy who thinks he's a cook. Does it bother you that guys like him think they're experts now? Because
I don't think I'm an expert. I can't make a fucking brisket to save my life.
Oh, you think you're an expert. You do.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do around us. So does a guy like you, you still cook the old-fashioned way too, don't you?
I'll use anything and everything. Now, everything, like my backyard looks like, we've got Chinese smoker boxes, we've got log splitters, we've got charcoal, we've got flat tops, we've got everything. And honestly, it doesn't bother me. Like, people think they're experts. Maybe they're good in their field. I'm just old Bart, and that's kind of where that name comes from. I'm not a professional. Like, I appreciate anything that gets sent my way, but at the same time, I'm a big helper. I love the customer service side of things. And it's like, if someone's got a question, I'll tell them my 2 cents, and then I'll show you, I'll give you directions on everything. And that's the cool thing, honestly. The big boys in barbecue, that's how I learned, because the trick is even Miss Snow's barbecue, you could walk down there and she'll tell you everything that she does step by step, and you try to do it, ain't happening, because there's a little skill involved. But I can get you close to make you feel confident to not be afraid of cooking. And I just like sharing the passion of cooking, because it's therapy for me, or it still is, but it once was huge in therapy for me. And so I just like sharing it. So if I can get you cooking more and getting people not frustrated being behind a stove or just basic recipes, and then we move over to a smoker because you're going to be smoking for your friends, and then most likely they're going to be like, where did you learn this? Yeah. Hey man, I just called old Bart or sent him a message or whatever, and he helped, and that's really and truly why I cook. Therapy, helping, and I enjoy what that grill or kitchen, it becomes the center hub of any place. Like, and that's why I love cooking in the outdoor space. And now we're getting into this ranch space, and it all is the like-minded individuals that are just happy to get a good meal, and the focal point is usually the grill or the stove, the kitchen, wherever the turtle box is, jamming out. We got some beers and or whatever's going on. Like, it's fun then, and it's still stressful because of course you don't want to burn food and ruin people's day, but at the same time, just relax a little. It doesn't have to be that intense, just ease her down, shift gears just a little bit.
Who is, you said the Snow and the lady, is that the one that they did the Netflix documentary on? Is she still alive?
She was part of it.
Is she still alive?
Yes. Yeah. It's her birthday either today or yesterday.
That's a cool documentary. What's the name of that one? Some people need to watch that. Have you not seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's great. It's on Netflix.
Is it called Pitmaster? It's on Netflix still. But
Great show.
they go into like the Godfathers and Godmother of barbecue, and she only cooks one day, which is Saturday, which she cooks on Friday, and then they serve all day Saturday until they sell
Which is
out.
quick.
And this lady will work circles around you. If you think you got it, she will work circles around you, and then you can talk to her. You can go ask her any questions, and like she says in that documentary, I'll tell you everything I got, and you can go try it yourself. You know,
It's called Chef's Table Barbecue.
You hadn't seen that?
I hadn't seen it.
An expert like you should have. I can't believe you have not watched this.
Oh.
This is a great series. I'm going to tell you right now, this lady was a waitress at the Last Supper. She's old.
I saw a picture of her. She looks like Betty White.
She's old.
God rest her soul.
But she's got a hell of a story, and that's a hell of a doc. A complete foodie like you is not. I can't believe this. Aren't you embarrassed for him, Bart? I am. I mean,
my face is a little red, but it's also because I'm a son.
You're painting me into a corner here. I've never claimed to be an expert at all.
Okay, I'll tell you. We'll cook again this week some night, and Andy will do it again. I'll have to get it on video.
What?
We just lost Bart. There he goes, Bart.
No, we're good. My alarm went off.
Bart. Now,
oh God.
Oh God.
Technology. Here we go.
You are at the Stewart Ranch in southern Oklahoma, and you're cooking for a chuck wagon style?
Yeah, so I recently finished up a side-by-side that was a vision of mine, because we have a 32-foot commercial grade kitchen on wheels. We have a restaurant. I have a smaller trailer that is built for catering and carries equipment. But then I was like, man, I don't want to carry this heavy trailer out in the middle of a field. Whether it be, duck hunting or whatever, I didn't want to carry it. I was like, man, and I'm tired of hopping in someone else's side-by-side. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to build my own. So we got Gregory Polaris is close to me. TJ really seen the vision that I was wanting to do, and we got a North Star Ultimate. I mean, it's the tits, man. It's got air, AC. We put 8 6x9s in it. She slams. She's lifted up. High lifter got involved. We've got it. I mean, she's a rig. And then I put a bed slide in the back, a custom made bed slide. So I've got a Traeger smoker and a flat top and Yeti coolers. So I just roll up like, what's up? And then I just open that thing up and start. Like yesterday out in the field, they were in a couple pastures past, and they kind of made shift a pin. So they're like, I've just rolled my side-by-side out there, and we did some brisket and shrimp tacos, and I had Bloody Mary bar, and and then branding calves. I think they went, I don't know how many. I think it's a couple hundred, just branding and doing cowboy stuff, and might as well. It's the modern day chuck wagon.
That's a long fucking day, branding cows. I've never done that.
It was a long day for everybody.
I've seen it done.
It was a long day.
It is that's man's work right there. I ain't cut out for it.
And they've got 2 teams going at the same time. That's how many cattle they're running through. And you've got one side, one guy's roping, the other guy's. Everybody has a job, so you got 2 sides of this now. So you got a roper, you got someone cutting, you got someone vaccinating, you got someone doing vitamins, dehorning if it's necessary. And then you have a whole nother side doing it, and it's 2 at a time. I mean, it's running through them, and they were out there 6 o'clock in the morning doing that, and then they didn't get back until 3 or 4, and I was out there, at 9 setting up and cooking, and we didn't get back until about 3 or 4, and then we did a big old steak dinner last night, might as well. And so it was a long day. I slept in a little bit today. I was hurt. I was like, the old chuck wagon, you coming to the kitchen tomorrow morning. That ain't happening.
Well, and they love it too. Like you talk to a cowboy, like this is fucking Christmas Day to them.
100%. Well, and we were talking last night, Robert, who is mainly over the ranch and Stewart Ranch beef company, Beef Co. We were talking last night, and I mean, these are real cowboys. I mean, this ain't no Yellowstone. Like, this is real deal. And it's very similar, but other than, the train rides and corruption and whatnot. But, I mean, we were talking, so he was telling me about an older gentleman that he worked with, and the older cowboy had said, he knew times were changing whenever cowboys started carrying cell phones.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing But at the same time, he was saying it's a new age. Look, the chuck wagon is now a side by side, And then there were some older, other cowboys here, and we were all talking. They were like, yeah, it went from chuck wagon to like a Ford Bronco, and then back to like a chuck wagon with tires, and then all of a sudden it trickled off to here's a cooler full of sandwiches, and then now. I mean, with all their experience, they're like, I don't know of any other ranch operation that maybe claiming that I might be the first. Which, if I'm the first, great. If there's someone else out there, please reach out, because there's some things I got to figure out. Because I mean, with the sideline winds about 20 mile an hour, how do you keep the tablecloth down? I don't know what we're doing here. So, but times have changed, but it's all about perspective. You could be one of those people, well, it's just changing everything, or like every one of those cowboys send a picture to their significant other or posted because they were having brisket tacos while we're branding cattle. Like, I had a fresh crema, I had a slaw, I had not only the Bloody Mary bar just to get the edge of the last night off, and we've got, the gabagool, we got the cheeses and jalapenos. And so it's just like whenever you cater for a team in sports, it just amps it up, just a long day. Let's amp it up a little, and I'm willing to do the work. If you're willing to do it, and you're okay with me not trying to get in the way or not knowing really what's going on. Hey, I just want to be over in the corner. I'll take care of my stuff.
I'm surprised that they let you have Bloody Mary. I'd be like, no, I'm not letting them cowboys have any vodka till we're done.
This one won't hurt anything.
That's cowboy stuff, man. That's cowboy. And then, you don't get it. And it's the other thing, like, at least when it comes to the work, I can't speak for all because this is like my third day around cowboy stuff. So I know ranch waters and I know, drinking beer. But what I do know is being around them when it comes to work, it is strictly business. And yes, let's have one. We took a break in between herding cattle, and they were like, let's take a break. Let's, enjoy ourselves. Everyone is respectful. Yes, even people that were older. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, because they know what's happening, but they also know they still have a job to get done, and that has been. It's almost like it's forgotten. I don't know if you go like in the city or you're around multiple people. It's like there is still a group of people. In the outdoor world, you see it too, but there is still some wholesome values that is respectful, that could teach people, if they're willing to listen, some things that will just better their life and respect. Just, hey, I've got business to do. We still got a job to handle. And guess what? After that big old lunch, they had 3 more hours of work, and they were in high spirits about it, but still they did a long day's work. They're
one of the last, I don't even know the word, vessel of real old-time throwback type people are the real cowboys. We have them here. We're one of the few,
Yeah, there's no machine that is going to do the work that a cowboy's going to do.
No,
and you can kind of
and we were
streamline some
we were
stuff,
talking
but
about that yesterday.
There's no machine that's going to go do the hard work for you.
Yeah.
No, and it's just, if you've seen the branding type operation, like we were talking, and I mean, if you were a guy by himself, and they've made machines to help if you're by yourself or you only have a handful of people. But the massive amount of cattle that this place is going through and other places like that, the traditional way is still the most productive. And it's kind of fun. I mean, fun for what it is, fun work. It's still work, but they're enjoying it, roping, being on horses, doing it. They're not four-wheelers, moving cattle around. It's still cowboy. I mean, it's a real deal. What they make movies about.
No, they are, and they are themselves. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you see a group of cowboys somewhere, if you see a guy that's got a cattle trailer on the back of his truck or a horse trailer, and he's got a horse in there and he ropes and stuff, that guy is going to stop and help you if you need something. And he's going to, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. They're going to like to drink beer, most of them, and they like to have fun and go to dances, and they'll fight some still and stuff. But they're the same people that they were in 1930 and 1950 and 1970. It's the same type of guy. And we're lucky we have them out here, and we're friends with them, and we're around them all the time. But most people don't get to see real cowboys anymore. They see the drugstore cowboy, the guy that's got.
Or they see Kevin Costner talking like this on Yellowstone.
Yeah,
that's why I can't watch that
Right.
fucking show.
That liberal fucker ain't no cowboy.
Well, that's why I can't watch that show, because I watched a Kevin Costner movie the other day, For Love of the Game. And he's the Kevin Costner that we all fucking... But now he's got this fake accent, and I'm like, it's too much. I can't do Yellowstone.
I'm not into him anyway.
But I can see why it
Why
has
it's so
done
good?
what it has
Right.
done, because people they want to attach themselves to someone that never seen it or anything like that. That's why people like westerns. I mean, but this is a modern day with Sons of Anarchy motorcycle. I mean, it has attached itself to everything that a viewer would just like. Oh, I gotta watch it. I gotta zone in.
Yeah. Oh, I
You know,
get
'cause they
I get
feel-
why it's so popular, but it's just... It's not...
If you know the real thing, you can't really. It's like.
And see, we have that. My granddaughter plays softball for a guy that raises horses. That's what he does for a living. He's a real cowboy.
Yeah.
My middle son Zach is a real cowboy. He runs a ranch, and he is a real cowboy and has been for a long time. He does everything on a horse, and that's what they do. And those people are a throwback because you can't change. You can't do like Andy said. There's no way to do that job without being a real cowboy, and they do it. And we lease ranches off real cowboys and stuff, and it's one of the last places to go. Now, Ken Rollins is the Ken the cook. He does the chuck wagon cook stuff too, right?
Oh yeah. Now he's got some real fine recipes, and he goes to Branson and does at Silver Dollar City, does demos, chuck wagon stuff, and he's out in Oklahoma somewhere. I don't remember, but he's always fighting the wind too. Like I've seen him, making biscuits and flours just going like everywhere. But I've never met him, but he at least his persona, what he's showing, and I can tell by the way he's answering questions. I mean, he's the real deal, and he's got some good home cooked, not real technical. He's a good. It seems like a good dude, and some great food.
Yeah, he's a real Texan, I believe, or New Mexico. I think he's from Texas, West Texas. He may be from New Mexico, but he's that long tradition of a real cowboy that's a chuck wagon. Yes sir, no sir. Seems like a really good guy.
He did a video I saw
Absolutely.
when COVID broke out. It was cowboy remedies for it. Was I can't remember what all the remedies were, obviously, but it made a lot of sense. Like especially back 200 years ago, we're a long way from civilization, so they had to figure out how to get well 50 miles out, 2 days doctor, 2 days away from a doctor. So I don't know, it was interesting.
He's a guy. You talked about the wind. I saw yesterday Damon Lane, which is the Oklahoma City meteorologist, said that Oklahoma City this is the windiest month they've ever had.
I believe
and
it.
I believe that shit. It's a windy sucker every day.
Oh yeah, it's windy today, and it's supposed to be windier tomorrow. So I'm cutting out of here in the morning. I've got to get back to Arkansas. I'll be home for a day. We're setting up for a festival, and then I fly out Saturday to Michigan. So it's this past 3 weeks have been pretty rough.
Are you
doing
cooking in Michigan?
Yes, so I'm working with a turkey outfit. I met at the Dive Bomb Festival last year. He's got a week of turkey hunters coming in, and he invited me to come up there, and I said, you know what, let's make her work. So I'm gonna bring some food up that way and have a good week of it. It's gonna be fun. Hopefully, I get a chance to. And I mean, hey, turkey hunting is one of them things that I didn't make a business out of. So I still enjoy it because I don't know what I'm doing, and so I usually get to go with friends, and so it's exciting. And just watching the bird, I get pumped up. I get excited about a deer, but at the same time, I grew up deer hunting more than anything really. And I don't know, I like to talk too much, and I love the interaction of the birds. That's why I like waterfowl. I mean, It's the interaction, it's calling, it's seeing the birds work, and then turkey is just bigger and it tastes delicious, and I can't wait to get one on the ground and do whatever I want to do with it. It's fun. Turkey hunting's been fun with me, and so I've really enjoyed it, and I've had the pleasure of being invited on multiple hunts. And got a chance to kill a couple birds, and So now we're just taking old Bart. We're just a trip around wherever we go to Michigan, and then I got like a week off, and then I've a friend of mine, Chip Spalding. He's lives up in New York, and he's got a turkey camp, and we have just done an annual. Last year was the start, so we're gonna just put it in the books every year. But I'm going up there just for fun and just going, murking turkeys. So I don't know. I'm excited about it just because we'll be up there for a week. So we got New York, Michigan. Last week I was doing a festival for ASA, big old archery tournament down in Louisiana. So we were there for 4 days. Come out here for 4 or 5 days, and then back and running a festival in between times, going to Michigan, and busy.
Did you ever think that you would get to this place? When you were just starting out making shitty brisket and burning your ribs, like, did you ever think that your calendar would look like it does today?
No, I was scared to death. I mean, I originally started cooking in 2014 out of necessity. I'd gotten laid off from the railroad, and was helping an outfit, guide or cook, and then was given some opportunities to cook in that, because I knew duck hunting and, helping guide because he was shorthanded. And then, by the end of that season, I was just whipping it up for everybody. I mean, we were just cooking like crazy. But I started out with a 97 Chevy and a big old skillet, and going back and forth between the railroad, getting laid off, and then these people would. God is a powerful thing. He has a plan. You don't know it, and he has a plan, and he will continue to open up doors when things close. If you'll just have faith and trust that it is all going to be okay. I stand by that. I'm not always the best, but I know why my situation has become what it is, and it's because I have faith. And if you run your own business, and it fuels on faith, because you might not know where that next job's coming, but it's coming. And we, again, when I lost my job, kind of for the biggest time at the railroad, I was like, I thought when I got hired on that it was, hey, I'm done. I'm going to retire. And I love the work. I love the people. But to Union Pacific, I was 047-2165, and that's all I was ever going to be.
And it stopped right there.
And they had someone to replace me before I even hired, which bothered me. But the people, and because you're all in the sup together, so you all have. It's a railroad lifestyle. It's a family. Although sometimes you hate your brother, but it is what it is. Railroad life. But when I'd get laid off, I'd be like, man, I don't really know what I'm about to do. And then someone would call me and they'd be like, hey, I've got a family event. Can we fly you out to cook for a week? We'll buy everything. We'll pay you. We'll fly you out. And then it just become one after another. I got an opportunity, to cook for a season. And while I was cooking during a hunting season, being laid off, I designed the trailer that I have now. It again, I can't overpass this, because at the end of duck season that year, and I had designed this trailer, and I called a friend of mine and I said, hey, what's it going to cost to build this trailer? And he was like, man, it's going to be about $70,000. And I said, let me start saving. Mm-hmm. So put it on my whiteboard. I start saving. I called my bank. I said, bank, what's it going to cost? How do I get this thing? Because I ain't going to be able to save up this, because I'm going to spend it. So they told me it's going to be 40%. They told me it's going to be 40% down. I said, all right, smaller number. Yeah. Let's write that down. And then the end of season hit. I get called back to the railroad right as the end of the season comes. I go work for the railroad for the month of March, and that's when COVID hit. Mm-hmm. Boom. So I work for a month. I get laid off, and this time I've got enough time in that I got some reprieve. I got a little unemployment, and then I got that's when the plans came out. So a little helpful, a little bump on top of that, and then I was doing cash cooking jobs I had lined up, here or there, and I was just searching out. But my bank, remember, they had told me 40%. Well, a month went by, and they called me and they said, "Hey, do you still want that trailer?" And I said, "Yeah, but I sure ain't got no 40% down." Well, they had opened up the SBA loans.
Oh.
They called me and they said, "Hey, do you want that trailer?" I said, "Yes, I do." They said, "Well, we'll write a check right now for no money down."
Ooh, shit.
I said, "Let's get it on order."
Yeah.
Boom. Hey, let's get the trailer ordered. So we order the trailer. It doesn't come in till July. July, they did another program where it was if you had a loan or an SBA loan, they would make the first 6 months. It was approved in July. They will make the payments, make them, not defer them, for 6 months to help you get through COVID or whatever. So I get this trailer in July. I get 6 months, and my cutoff from that deadline was a week shy of, hey, new SBAs they're not going to take care of. So I was a week shy of being cut off from that. I get 6 months of paid, and so we ran that trailer as soon as I got it as hard as we possibly could. It was 5 days a week. I was smoking everything myself. I had some good workers in there. Basically, I would smoke and then I'd work in the trailer. I'd go home, take an hour nap, and I'd restart. And I took an hour. So that would happen for 3 months. And then I went to. I was like, hey, we're good. But I had an opportunity to be a private chef at Honey Break that year. So I was like, I'm going to do that because that's what I love to do. So I'm balancing food trucking because when I got the trailer, I designed it to be, I really like the snow. My thought was, okay, we have duck season, usually kitchens, whatever. But I want my own kitchen. And then I was trying to cater to snow goose outfits, which a lot of those run out of a hotel. So how do I get all this stuff done in a hotel? Because most people are like, well, we don't need a chef. We can't afford it, whatever the case may be. So I did that because I was like, I want my own kitchen. So when I got it, I told my wife, I said, look, I was like, people buy trucks, people buy boats for this much, but this thing can make me money. Yeah. So my ultimate goal at the time is once I got it is can I at least make enough barbecue, even if it's by myself and just selling sandwiches. Can I do that just to pay the bills and make some extra money to get me to duck season, get me back to hunting season? So we did that. It all worked out. 5 days a week we were running, we were selling out in a couple hours every 5 days a week for 3 months. And so we did really, really well. Duck season came along, and then I took my trailer down to Honey Break. We had a bunch of clients interested in other things outside of season. That was the first time I'd been to Honey Break. It was a great thing. I've been there 3 years now, third year. And so I'm telling you, if you don't have faith, I don't know how you do it because it ain't going to work for me.
Well, and you have to have the courage to say yes to a lot of things. And that's what I've noticed
Absolutely.
with this podcast. Like, we'll have an idea for a guest, and it's just like, let's get them on. And we'll talk to somebody, and that guest leads to another guest who leads to another guest. And it's that has been really interesting when we started this is the people that we have access to now, all because we said yes, let's go after this one person. And it's led to, cool people. Like, had we never reached out to Dive Bomb, we wouldn't have got teamed up with them. We wouldn't have gone to Squad Fest. We wouldn't have met you. So, it's just everything works in a weird way, but you have to have the courage to say, yes, let's do that.
100%. Well, that comes with me cooking. When I first started, getting, teamed up with Traeger, Yeti, Benelli, I stay Switzerland with a lot of things just because food is what it is. Like, we do things for Realtree, Mossy Oak, Sitka. We do things for Dive Bomb, Lucky Duck, Lifetime. And I've noticed that the people that are okay with that and they like Old Bart for Old Bart, those are my customers. If you come to me and I cook for you and then you tell me, well, why are you cooking for them?
Right.
Oh, no, sir. That's not how this is going to work. Old Bart don't do that. Old Bart stays Switzerland, and I cook for whoever really wants and truly cares about what I'm doing, and then cares about, I have a family to feed. Yeah. Like, if you're going to, exclusivity comes with a check, and I ain't seen one big enough to say, hey, you ain't going to cook for them. So until someone's ready to write a check, then they can do that.
Yeah.
But I've had to cull some people out like that, and it is what it is. But if you don't understand what I'm doing and the reasons why I'm doing it, then you wasn't no friend of mine.
Right.
That's just how it is.
I want to ask you a tough question. All right, you ready for this?
Tuffy,
Right.
go.
You're from Arkansas. You're working in Oklahoma. Does this whole electricity thing really bothering you?
What? What? Like not having
I mean, like
electricity?
now
or
that
what?
you're in Oklahoma and you have electricity, because the only difference between Oklahoma and Arkansas is electricity.
They're running bathrooms.
Okay, bathrooms too.
Bathrooms are a lot nicer over here. Yeah. Now you can't get no hand sanitizer, no bathroom, no truck stop around here. Somebody's drinking all of it. I don't know, but they won't do that. But no, I mean, what's crazy? My wife asks me this all the time. She's like, "Can you not get caterings closer to home?" And it is weird as all get out. I might get one or two in Arkansas, but my predominant thing is Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Missouri, Kansas, Illinois. It is all around, and I'm okay with it. It's just like, man, sometimes I don't really like tugging that 20,000-pound trailer 5-6 hours. I'm kind of tired.
No, seriously, I'm going to ask you a question that's not tough. Just it's a question, but someone out there is thinking this right now. We have a very, very, very eclectic group of listeners. We got all kinds of different people that listen to us, and all over the world, actually, but all over the United States. What if a guy has a company and he said, "You know what? I listen to that guy on the Big Honker, and I've got 100 people I want to feed in my business. I'd like to have him come out here and do a weekend hunt or whatever it is they're doing a week." What's a going rate on getting someone like you to come out to feed, let's say 50 people, which is probably more feasible than 100 for most people? What are they looking at?
Right. Well, so we'll start off number one, right? So this is a sales pitch, right? So number one, I'm gonna ask a couple questions. What's the date? Because I book out quite a bit. So date, how many people, and this is one thing I learned. What do you want your menu to look like? Because if you're going to hire me, and I say me, but like that, if you're going to hire old Bart, now I can come cook a beef stew. I mean, I can come cook barbecue. We can have Mandarin. We can have Italian. We could have steaks. So really and truly, we work on, and who's going to pay for the groceries? Are you going to ask me to pay for the groceries, or are you going to pay for the groceries? So I really like to have a conversation, and sometimes all those questions really kind of deter people, but at the same time, you have to understand where I'm coming from. If you want me to come cook Stouffer's lasagna, well, I'm not going to charge you that much, but then I need to know if I need to buy them or do you going to buy them? So, I mean, anywhere, sometimes it's $12 a person if they want some just barbecue sandwich and some beans. Or sometimes it can be, $350 a day, per day, and then $75 a head on top of that, plus a grocery bill. It kind of just depends on how fancy you want to go and what we're doing. And that's because I've had to learn how to kind of put my stuff in silos. So do you want the trailer? Do you want the side-by-side? What are we looking at, and how much fun do we want to have? And how do we want to ballpark that? And really and truly, that kind of gets me to know the consumer. And my customer is, are we just trying to feed the masses, or I can bring a crawfish trailer. We're going to boil, 35 sacks of crawfish. What do we want to do here? And let's have, and I do the same thing with weddings. I get to know the bride. I'm like, hey, where do you want to, are you just wanting to serve people, quick, fast, and easy? Okay, we can do that. Or do you want to have a sit down? Do you want them to feel like they're having the night of their life with whatever dinner? That's going to range on food, and especially food cost changes all the time. So it kind of just depends on what you want to do, where you want to do, and how far I got to travel.
The crawfish bowl? That I've thought about us doing one of them out here before. What? Yeah, not during hunting season, but off season, just a kind of a appreciation type deal. We can invite some friends. Somebody like you, got a lot of friends, Andy. What's it cost to run like 30 bags of crawfish? I don't even know they come in 50-pound bags.
Well, yeah. So we would get numbers, and to come over this way, it's probably about $30 a head.
30.
$30 a head, and we can come over. We bring crawfish, we'll bring, potato, corn, all that kind of stuff. We run the trailer about $30 a head, and it's 5 pounds per person. So you kind of got a leeway room. I've got access to we can do small and we can do big. I mean, we can go ham, it just depends.
And like you said earlier, bad barbecue leads to good barbecue. It's the same with business. Like I'm sure 100%. You had to learn a couple from some, like, oh fuck, I way underbid this job.
Yes.
But that's how you get to where you are. Like, what questions to ask is because you fucked up in the past and was like, I'm working for free this weekend, baby.
Yeah, and I 100%. And I am lucky enough that I still do, but I have some people in not only the food industry, but the outdoor industry and just business-minded folk that they know my personality. Yeah. They know my anxiety. They're close friends of mine. And I'm like, how do I need to handle this situation? Sometimes I say too much, but I'm so transparent, and sometimes it's by default that if you judge me off that, then like I said, if you want me to cook for you and you only, then that comes and that's all you want, then you really didn't care about me. Like you just wanted some food. You thought of the old back of the house. Yes, sir. No, here's your food, and then disappear. And that's not what we're doing here. So I've had the beauty of had a lot of people that have influenced me, and I have a core group of people that I can call and I say, look, this is what I got. How do I handle that? One of those things like you're talking about that I learned because I used to be, and I'm getting out of it, but being a yes man. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. And the reason why is because my kids are getting older. I'm learning how to manage a family, manage a business, manage a festival company, manage other chefs that work for me, and trying to get them to be outsourced. And I'm learning how to balance all that because sometimes it's okay to say no. But when you first start, we all know this. Yep. I'm sure the first podcast, you people, hey, I'll take the guy that makes these coffee cups. I'll take the guy that he's the salt shaker capital. I would take whoever wants to talk. I'm going to talk. Right. And so that was kind of me when I first started, and I was just running the wheels off everything, and it worked. But then I had to pump the brakes, and now we're looking at quality. We look at professionalism, and again, it's one of those things. It's like if they don't really care and they don't understand all the questions that I'm asking, then for me it doesn't line up with me. Right. And I had to learn that.
I mean, you got to stay true to yourself. You were at the Traeger Festival, weren't you? Out there in
absolutely
that new fucking Timberline. Holy cow! Now listen. It comes with a price tag, but it looks like it purrs.
What's it cost?
Oh,
38, 4.
Yeah.
But it looks like a beast.
Yeah. Well, yes. So it's one of those things. You got to see it, you got to touch it, you got to understand where it came from. But there's some stuff coming out with it as far as accessories that are crazy. When they redesigned and figured this out, they went through so many reviews, us using them, what we've used in the past, concerns, issues, competition, where they're at, what people were liking, not liking, and ultimately come out with this, freaking Ferrari. I mean, it's one of those things. Because it wouldn't suit me in my trailer, right? It is a show pony that wants to be in a backyard kitchen or stationary. Yes. The workhorse, which is the Pro line, fits my trailer. We've got 4 of them in the back. I've got 2 or 3 other ones in my smaller trailer. They can handle the beating of the road, and they can handle. They're easy to switch out. Something goes wrong, I can fix it. The Timberline was never really suited to be on the back of my trailer. But as far as the person that wants that searing capability, you want to fry, you want to cook a pizza, you want to hold all these pork butts, it's stationary, the massive amount of food that you can put on it, and then the ease of cleaning it with all of the grease, and it's built like a sink underneath where the ash gets blown in. You've got one pot to take out. They listened, and this is what they come out with, and it's pretty slick. I mean, it's slick.
You hit the nail on the head. It is a show pony that deserves to be in an outdoor kitchen, and you have your friends over and you drink beer around it.
So you want one then?
I'm not spending $4,000. I got the one from 3 years when they redid the what do I have?
So if me and Mom bought you one, you wouldn't want it?
I've got the Ironwood. No, don't buy me one. Don't buy me one.
And the iron one is slick.
Yeah, I like
That's another one. We've got 2 of those on the trailer with 2 pros.
Yeah.
And that's another one that's a bit of a workhorse. But all the components in the bigger ones, they're made that double insulation. They're made to be stationary. They can't take, a trailer rolling, 65, 70 mile an hour. Between, goose decoys and everything, we all know what it's like pulling trailers. Like, it's hopefully when I hate opening that trailer and I look, I'm like, okay, we're good. But you open that trailer and sometimes stuff goes slinging out and it just can't take the beating. But that's not really their niche, niche. That's not really what they do. But that we are, unless someone's out there that I don't know about, which is very likely, but on the trailer, we run Traegers and putting out professional barbecue, restaurant quality barbecue. We're putting out on the trailer. That's 100% Traeger. That's why they're partners with us. That's what we use on the trailer. We use it 5 days a week. I mean, those things they're testament. There's other products out there, don't get me wrong, but as far as like the test on Traeger and being a consumer can go and get a grill like this, that I'm doing this type of business and I put them through the test. I mean, they're good.
Okay, so I got a couple questions for you in regards to the Traeger. I have problems getting a good bark on my brisket. So you can tackle that one first. And I can't figure out how to cook with wax paper. I fuck it up every time. I gotta do foil. And that makes me not feel good about myself because I watch YouTube videos and everybody uses fucking butcher paper. So that's how I feel. That's how I feel I should do it. But it never comes out very well.
Well, so the butcher paper, a lot of people are in the same boat. They watch a video and they see it and they're like, "Oh man, we're going butcher paper." I use foil.
Okay,
Bubba.
That makes me feel better then. All right, I'll do foil from now on.
And it comes from that Texas crutch method, and it's time. If you want that bark, which goes a lot with ingredients, really heavy coarse pepper, the right ingredients is going to give you that bark. The butcher paper does help save from a bark. But if you have the time, don't wrap. At all. If you have the time to put in, do not
I've got
wrap.
time. Especially this time. When I cook a brisket, I clear my schedule. I'm drinking beer at like 7 in the morning.
Don't wrap. And so like in the restaurant, we wrap because we preserve it, to last all day. We do because we have a certain amount of time that we're cooking. Because my restaurant is designed to where it's fast casual, but you see the entire kitchen when you walk through. You see our smoker. Nothing is hidden besides dishes in the back wall and refrigeration. So we have a certain time. If you come in at our restaurant, depending on the day, either 4 or 6 o'clock, you'll see us you get to see the wood getting put on the smoker. You'll see the meat getting put on. And then we come back at around 12 or 1 o'clock that night and wrap. And it's done whenever we open up the shop. And for me, again, I own that method. That's my barbecue. Yeah. So if you like it, that's how I do it, and that's how we roll. There's places out there that put it on and leave it. I just find that certain times and how we're running, the amounts we're running, it draws it out, and it doesn't really produce the quality that I want. That's known for my barbecue shop.
Yeah. I donate time. I put my time in, and I tell you what I like, and I guess Instagram has kind of screwed this up in social media. I love beef ribs. Love them.
Oh,
and now they're
100%.
fucking hard to get because
I wrap those.
now they're hard to get.
So there's certain things,
and
but you're right.
And now Instagram, everybody's cooking beef ribs, and it's like, son of a bitch. Now it's expensive, just like brisket. Brisket's this hot meat cut of meat that everybody's doing. And
same thing with tri-tip.
Tri-tip, yep, same thing.
Well, that was a Californian thing, and then it got more popular, and now you're seeing tri-tip in Sam's, and it's like tri-tip was like no, like it's a family cut of meat, but it got popular. But beef ribs, we do a special on beef ribs every now and again. But I really do like the beef ribs. They're easy to cook. And I do wrap those because we spray them down, and there's a method behind the madness on that. But I do use wax or butcher paper on those. But I'm not afraid of the full. I mean, I don't be afraid of it. And again, if you got the time, don't wrap.
Now, is there a trade-off in not wrapping it and like moisture? Are you gonna run into like a drier brisket if you don't wrap?
Not necessarily on brisket. Get the prime grade brisket. You're gonna have plenty of fat throughout. But for me, I find that whenever you don't wrap your pork butt, it does dry out. And that's just me. That's the other thing. Barbecue is like a thumbprint, man. Everyone's different. Everybody's got their own flavor profile. Everything does it. But what works for me is that I like wrapping the pork butts. We wrap brisket because of the time. But when we have time, you can go unwrap brisket, and I don't really ever see. I just have a better bark, and then it just takes longer to cook.
Yeah.
But again, if you're afraid of that, inject your brisket. But as far as like producing that amount to do all that, like it's not in the restaurant world, like unless you just have a team of pit masters that are ready to rock and roll, and that's how you like to do your barbecue, it just doesn't justify, injecting.
Right. So when did you open your restaurant?
It was July of last year.
So
June of last year.
So you went from food trucking it to now all of a sudden we're opening. This is our brick and mortar store. We're opening the doors and we're feeding the masses here.
That's right.
Was that a tough transition? Another leap of faith you had to make.
We still run the food truck, right. And then we run a festival as well. So it does a lot of festivals. But we run the food truck, and the real big reason to go to that brick and mortar, and the reason why we went with a small brick and mortar is because I didn't want a lot of overhead. I was worried about it. I was, man, we'll keep everything down low, and if it gets big, then it'll justify something big. But it just, I have a really good trailer crew and really good workers, and I didn't want them to feel like how I felt at the railroad when I would go and do stuff, because I'd have to shut things down. Well, now we have people on salary. We pay as high as we can in the food world. We have people buying cars. We have families. We have a lot of good things have come out of it. And I don't do it. It's not going to make me a millionaire, but what it will do is it allows me to help other people. It allows me to help people that I've never met before, and it gives a little bit more depth to the brand. But at the end of the day, I mean, if it turned into a failure or whatever, I don't look at it as a failure. I mean, failure is the foundation of success. And so no matter what happens, we'll learn from it. But it's doing good. It's profitable. We were profitable first tax season. We're still profitable. We're looking at another location, and that's a whole nother branch of the umbrella of Old Bart is restaurants, festivals, and then I'm never going to stop doing my private cooking. That's my bread and butter. That's my family money. That's what I love to do. So if the other stuff works, then great. Let's put emphasis on it. Let's burn the ships. That's what we're going to do. But at the end of the day, we're just going to try to diversify the brand.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm looking at your Instagram, and you've got something on there makes me freaking hungry as hell. Smoked mashed potatoes with queso Cajun corn, meat, and barbecue sauce, the hot mess.
Oh,
Woo-hoo!
Yeah. That's the hot mess. That's the hot mess special on Friday.
That's a fat boy's fantasy right there. I'm telling you, God almighty. That's a meal.
Listen, man, it has been a pleasure. I know you've got lunch coming up here pretty soon. We appreciate you sitting down with
Yes,
us.
sir.
It's been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah, we'd be more than happy to. Yeah,
Man, God bless you, my man. You're living the dream.
What's
I
so
appreciate
cool
it.
is the amount of fraud that went into all that SBA stuff with big corporations getting it. You fucking took it and you made a life with it. So like, thank
Absolutely.
God.
Well, and I appreciate that. And it was one of those things like I'll never, it's what you do with the situation that defines who you are. We're all given forks in the road, and which path you take. My mom had passed in 2013, and that's kind of my therapy that I was talking about of why I started cooking. But I could have went the other way. I could have been woe is me. I could have done a lot worse with it. But and it's been like that every single time something comes up. It's something bad happens. Look, I was watching Steve Harvey, and I love that dude, but he was talking to a group of people, and he said, how many people in this room has felt like you're giving up, or felt like you're having a bad day, or felt like you're in a situation you don't have an answer for, or just felt like the end is near? And everybody, raises their hand throughout that. And he was like, guess what? Your average, you are shooting 100% of success after that situation. You are shooting. So if we're basing things off of data, which you should, statistically, you're going to make it. You will make it. No matter what, you're going to make it. And that has proven every single time something has come up. It's just like the SBA thing. Some people took the other road. Some people did something with it that made them more money, or did what it was designed to do. Those programs are out there, just like welfare and everything else. It was designed to help you get through whatever you were supposed to get through, not live off of it, but do something. So you're given something, and what you do with it, that's who you are. That's your internal. That's yourself. So what kind of person are you going to be? You're given a tough. This is soapbox stuff right here, but this is like game time, amp up. I'm gonna run through a wall, because you're given something, and you can either, squander it, or you can make it flourish. And that choice is on you.
Yeah, and there's those jackasses that went out and bought Lamborghinis and Ferraris and shit like that on their SBA loans, and sorry about you. You could have taken a page from old Bart and built something for your future.
Yeah, but I had to have that Ferrari.
Had to have that. Well, listen, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Enjoy the rest of your time in Oklahoma, and be safe on the road, okay?
Absolutely. I appreciate
you, Bart. You have a great day, my friend. God bless you.
Bye-bye.
I just got an email from SBA.
Really?
Just 15 minutes ago.
Why?
I figure it's a fraud.
Oh, I bet.
But it was another one of those same, if you would like to.
Another loan.
We'll do this and do that.
But that is good, because there was so much fraud with that.
A lot of it was that way.
mean, who the fuck? Actresses and actors were getting it. People that had millions of dollars.
I think Hunter Biden got about $10 million.
Right.
And he probably paid none of it, and 10% went to the big guy. So.
Or up his nose.
Well, that's where the other 90% went.
Just like that. They think Johnny Depp took a bump of cocaine in that trial.
I have no idea. I can honestly tell you that I didn't listen to the only thing I know about the trial is she shit in the bed.
She did shit in the bed.
And that's
but he does something, like
about.
he gets something on his finger and he...
No, he's... the problem is people give two shits. I'll tell you what, I didn't want to see that trial on the news. I want to see Ghislaine Maxwell's trial on the news. That's on TV. That's what people were interested in. People don't give two craps about it. The average person has no interest in what goes on in Hollywood. That's for people under the age of 23 or 24. They're the people that care about Hollywood. Nobody else gives two shits about it.
It's made my TikTok entertaining.
Are we on TikTok now?
We are.
How's that working out?
That's still got a lot to figure out, but we'll get there.
We are going to have our shirts and everything that we have merchandise-wise. I'm working on Shopify right now to get us an actual website where you can pay on site and it all be shipped. We'll ship it, but it will be all done that way, where you can do your credit card and everything on site.
Beautiful.
That is my goal for this next. I'm going to have that done before we go to Puerto Rico.
Excellent.
And then when we get back to Puerto Rico, I can ship everything out. All right. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for listening to us. This is coming out on Monday, right?
Monday.
Or next week, right?
Sometime.
Or the week that this comes out, because I'm going to be gone.
It'll be the week.
All right. I'm going to be on vacation. So thank y'all. God bless y'all, and have a great week.
Check out all of our wonderful sponsors. Check out Bangtail Whiskey, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Gun Dog Outdoors, Looking Glass Duck Club Podcast, Lucky Duck, Dirty Duck Coffee, Shin Gear Waders, Pacific Calls, Boss Shot Shells, Dive Bomb Industries, and Alpha Outdoor Specialty.